The Ukraine conflict 2021, unraveling the first 2 days of crisis. The year 2021 witnessed a renewed surge of tension in Ukraine as the ongoing conflict between government forces and pro-Russian separatists escalated once again. This article aims to delve into the first 2 crucial days of the Ukraine conflict in 2021, shedding light on the series of events that unfolded, the key players involved, and the immediate implications of this escalation. Day 1. Escalation and confrontation. The first day of the Ukraine conflict in 2021 started with a significant escalation of hostilities. It began when reports emerged of clashes between Ukrainian government forces and pro-Russian separatists in the eastern regions of Donetsk and Luhansk. Both sides accused each other of violating a fragile ceasefire agreement that had been in place for several months. The Ukrainian government declared a state of emergency in the affected regions and deployed additional troops to confront the separatist forces. The clashes intensified throughout the day, leading to a rapid deterioration of the security situation. Reports of heavy artillery fire, mortar attacks, and skirmishes filled the airwaves, while civilian casualties began to mount. The international community, including the United Nations and the European Union, expressed deep concern over the renewed violence and called for an immediate cessation of hostilities. The Ukrainian government blamed Russia for orchestrating the escalation, accusing it of providing military support to the separatist groups. Russia denied these allegations, stating that it had no involvement in the conflict and arguing that the Ukrainian government's actions were an attempt to divert attention from domestic issues. The United States, along with several European nations, condemned Russia's alleged role and pledged support for Ukraine's territorial integrity. Amid the escalating crisis, diplomatic efforts were initiated to defuse the tension. High-level talks were held between Ukrainian and Russian officials, mediated by representatives from the international community. However, these initial discussions failed to yield any tangible results, and the situation remained precarious. Day 2. International. On the second day of the Ukraine conflict in 2021, international pressure on Russia intensified as evidence of its involvement in the crisis emerged. Satellite imagery, intelligence reports, and eyewitness testimonies pointed to the presence of Russian military equipment and personnel in the separatist-held territories. The United States, along with its European allies, announced a series of sanctions against Russia, targeting key individuals and entities allegedly linked to the conflict. As the conflict escalated, a humanitarian crisis began to unfold. Thousands of civilians in the affected regions were forced to flee their homes, seeking safety in neighboring areas or overcrowded makeshift shelters. Humanitarian organizations struggled to provide assistance to the displaced population, facing challenges such as limited access and security concerns. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian government declared a state of emergency across the country and imposed strict measures to mobilize resources and reinforce its military capabilities. The international community intensified its calls for an immediate ceasefire and the resumption of peaceful negotiations. Diplomatic efforts were ramped up, with various world leaders engaging in shuttle diplomacy to find a diplomatic solution. The second day also saw an outpouring of support for Ukraine from the global community. Demonstrations and solidarity rallies were held in major cities around the world, condemning the violence and calling for an end to the conflict. These events put additional pressure on governments to take a strong stance against Russia's actions and support Ukraine in its quest for stability and sovereignty. Conclusion. The first 2 days of the Ukraine conflict in 2021 witnessed a rapid escalation of hostilities, causing significant civilian casualties and displacements. Accusations and denials regarding Russian involvement in the conflict heightened tensions and drew international condemnation. The humanitarian crisis deepened as thousands of people were uprooted from their homes, requiring urgent assistance. The global community responded with calls for an immediate ceasefire and diplomatic resolution, accompanied by sanctions against Russia. However, these initial efforts fell short of achieving a breakthrough, leaving the situation highly volatile and uncertain. The Ukraine conflict in 2021 serves as a stark reminder of the ongoing challenges faced by the country and the urgent need for a peaceful resolution to ensure the well-being of its citizens and regional stability.